All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we are actually joined by a phenomenal band straight out of Philadelphia. We have Die Tired right here live on 99.9 FM on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, the radio station airwaves. How are you guys doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing awesome, man.
Awesome, man.
Doing great.
Hey.
Doing great.
I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, I really dig your music. You guys are a killer band, so just being able to talk to you guys this evening is such an honor. So thank you so much for just a little bit of your time this evening.
Wow, we appreciate
Thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for having us.
But I know you guys are very busy individuals, so I'm not going to take you away from your night for too long. But I got to take you guys back to the beginning of your amazing band this far, and I have to ask, like, how did you guys all meet and come together to form Die Tired?
Sure, I could take the lead on that first question. Maybe like 6 years ago or so, maybe even more going back then, Jim and I started in a project before Die Tired. We met through a mutual friend of ours. We had a trio going, just kind of feeling it out, kind of getting the early riffs, song ideas together, starting to get to learn to play with each other. That project, moved in a different direction, but Jim and I just kept in touch. We kept playing and writing, evolving our style, and met Sean through our local barbershop. Always going in there. Our boy owns it, and just a Red Horse over in the area where we live. So just always talking music in the shop, talking things, stuff's playing on the playlist and what's going on the weekends and things like that. So connected with Sean on the guitar, like, hey man, we're trying to keep a new project going. Our old band disbanded. So Sean started jamming with us, and we were looking for a new drummer, and was scrolling through Facebook, and Brandon had an ad out there, and he was playing a cover of a Used song. We're like, dude, we got to reach out to this guy, man. He's rocking it. Great. And it was like a deep cut too. I was like, man, if he knows this one and likes that song, chances are we're going to connect on some level musically. And then, dude, turns out like 10 minutes away from each other, it was just like serendipitous. It's like, dude, you're right around the corner. You got to come and see if you can catch a vibe with what we got going here from Die Tired and stuff like that. And the rest is history. I think we're almost close to 2 years yet.
2 years.
Duration.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, if not a little bit more. Now we're here. Here we are.
And I have to ask, what actually made you guys decide to choose the name Die Tired? Because honestly, I got to say, it's a very unique but amazing name as well.
I'll jump in and take it as I usually do. It's initially from a Marine Corps phrase, "You can run, but you'll only die tired," which I guess is kind of a threat to the enemy. But really, we took it as more of like I like to say it's a punk rock way of saying carpe diem, or seize the day. It's just like, when you're gonna die, you might as well die tired. If you die rested, then you left stuff out. Kind of a no regrets. Just go after it and just live your life. And that's kind of become our mantra. And we turned it into it's always a good day to die tired.
And also, you guys are actually currently signed to West Soda Records. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about how you guys got discovered by this amazing record label. And of course, what is it actually like working alongside this particular imprint? Because honestly, I saw the roster of bands they actually have signed. And aside with you guys, there's so many amazing bands.
We sold our soul. No, I think didn't he see our song on a Spotify playlist? Is that how he found us?
I think Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong. I think when we had Play, the single, our previous single before the one that's out right now, Better Off Alive, I think Brandon was just like kind of throwing it out there, pitching it, putting on some playlists. I know Sean was also doing the same thing, just trying to get him on random playlists and see what happens. And then we ended up on the label's table or on one of their streaming services, and they reached out, and that's how we got that connection going.
Yeah, it was actually through playlist submissions, and they liked the song Play, and that's essentially what landed us with interest from the label, and the rest is history.
And I got to say, you can't go wrong with that, especially just like, submitting music to playlists and then you get a record deal out of it. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys were just looking to be put on a Spotify playlist, but then you guys got a record deal. So I got to say, that's definitely a very good deal.
It was a very validating moment for us. That's how I would put it. We were like, okay, this is real. We got something going here.
Yeah. And it's been awesome, like, to piggyback on the first question too. Like, it's been great working with Sam and his team at the label. Just the experience they bring, and you said they got a killer lineup of other acts and our label mates there, and from all over too. Spread out across the globe, which is really cool about that. And just the opportunities and passion that comes behind him and his team pushing us and believing in us. And what I dig about it, like Jim says, like, it makes you really think as a band, like, all right, we got something here that the label believes in us, that people maybe believe in our tunes. It's like, let's keep pushing ourselves now. We got an opportunity here. Let's get after it. Let's creatively marketing, how we get our stuff out, how we perform live on stage. Like, it really, really energizes us to try to be the best possible band we can be.
And also on March 20th of 2020, you guys actually released the amazing 4-track self-titled EP. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this first project. And of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased today?
Yeah, I think it's still out there. We did that one in Matt's basement.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a DIY start to finish, very early on tracks of ours, and I think it's on Bandcamp. I think it's actually on Spotify, isn't it? And all streaming platforms. I think it's still out there.
That's right. So you can download it, check it out. One
of those songs, titled "New Reality," has really evolved over the years and has become kind of a fan favorite. That it's sort of stuck around. I think that's one of the few from those first 4 that has kind of kept its, really took its stride over the last couple of years with adding Sean and Brandon into the band, and them adding their own flavor to that particular song has become kind of a little live show treat, and it may potentially be a re-released single in the future, not so distant future. We'll see.
And you got me asking as well, because obviously this album got released in 2020, which, if I'm not mistaken, around March was kind of like the beginning or just at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
How did the pandemic actually affect, the promotion and creation of this album? Like, was it very difficult for you guys to actually get together and put the finishing touches on it?
Yeah, we had to be very creative about that. In the iterations there, I mean, technology's come such a far way. I mean, we would have some sessions not so uncommon in what we're doing right now, whether it's over some type of video chat or something like that on our phones. You can send stems back and forth to each other. Like, I think the one song in particular on that one, Give In. Like, if you listen to the beginning of that one, I just kind of have like a programmed kind of sample drum beat that I came up with, and that really started the song up. So I put it to a click, I get my stems, I send it out through an email, and then the bandmates can listen to it, jam along to it. And I think at one point I was like dropping off equipment at Jim's house, like on the front door, like, hey, here's an extra direct input box, like, see if you can get this fired up on your Mac. And then like over the phone, like teaching each other how to set it up. And anymore, as long as you can get a clean stem, you can get a pretty amazing sound out of that if you just work it a little bit with the magic of EQs and plugins and things like that. And that's how we handled that one a lot. A lot of long nights in my basement, just plugging away and bored as heck. You know what I mean? Just using music as an outlet and just trying to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a novice on that. I'm a novice with recording stuff, so Matt dropped off the ProSonus FirePod, which is like a staple for at-home recording. He's like, "Hey, watch this YouTube video, plug your bass in, put some bass lines together," and I emailed him out to him, and next thing you know, he's got like a mixed and mastered song in a couple days, and it was cool. It definitely, like Matt said, it was an outlet. I would go sit on my deck and get some fresh air and record some bass tracks. And while it's not nearly as much fun as doing it, in a studio or with your buddies, it was, that's kind of how we made a lot of, at least half of that album, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, my apologies, guys.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say as well, on March 18th of 2023, you guys actually released a single titled Better Off Alive. I was wondering if you can actually tell us the story and inspiration behind this amazing song, because I got to say, this newer single of yours is very catchy, and I got to say, we definitely have it spinning here on 99.9 FM.
Oh, that's sick.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. I hope everybody digs it that hears it on the rotation. Behind that one, just kind of tapping in lyrically, for that one, I did the lyrics on that one. Just was kind of getting tired of I'm trying to see how to even articulate this, but the mental health thing, it's such a big deal. And I've seen so many people personally in my circle affected by that, and what could we have done? And with, not to get like too into things, but just with suicide awareness and things like that. I just thought it was really important to just share that message. Everybody's got things that they go through and struggle with, and using music as kind of as a positive anthem for that, and almost like as a rallying cry to say, hey, like, we're all going through this together. There's that line in there, we're all afraid. Like, everybody at some point in their life is experiencing a moment of anxiety or fear, and if we can somehow all connect on that and say, hey, we're all in this together, and what's a better platform than just this huge rock anthem that everybody can kind of sing along and connect to along that way, was really kind of my intentions and what I wanted to get across on that one. And there's a little bit of backstory too that Jim can pull in too, with just some of the experience that he's been through. Jim's a former Marine, so just some of the experiences and PTSD of people coming back. If you watch our video, there's a theme weaved in of the of the military serviceman coming back to his family and having some struggles with what he experienced with that. So I don't know, you want to jump in on that at all, Jim, or any of those things?
Yeah, sure. The initial song, I don't think was, at least when we were writing it and you brought the lyrics and the riff to us and we kind of turned it into a Die Tired song, wasn't initially like based around veterans specifically. But then we got linked up with our videographer, Chris Kaufman Productions, who produced, videoed and produced the whole music video, did a great job on it. He's a former Marine himself. So we kind of just were talking about it. And as we were having this little meeting at a local restaurant here with him, it took shape of like, let's create this song to, like, at least the video itself to speak specifically to veterans. And unfortunately, I know a handful of guys that have gotten out of the Marines and then later have killed themselves. Just to think, it was 2 weeks ago was the 6-year anniversary of my radio operator, who unfortunately did kill himself. And that's a number of guys that I know. So every time I play it, it's like, and we play it live, there's times when I'm like pretty emotional, hiding behind my bass as my little, safety blanket emotionally. And I'm like, this song really, impacts people, and it impacts me personally. And Matt and Brandon both work in the psychology world and psychiatry world. I always forget the difference of the two. With adolescents, and Sean's a barber, and I mean, a barbershop is therapy in its own, going in and talking to guys and having like a little, place to just kind of cut loose. So it has become an anthem for us, and the theme of it is authentic to us, and we're just really happy how well it's been received. That a number of fans that we have never met have like specifically messaged us to say this song it means something to me. Like, I was struggling and I came across this song randomly, and it breathed life into me, and that's just like, it almost brings tears to your eyes to actually write music that is that meaningful to people. Again, it's just another really validating experience to have.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Jim, thank you so much for your service, man. I couldn't imagine what you've been through, but I'm glad to see and hear and speak with you today. But definitely, thank you for your service.
I appreciate your support. Thank you.
And also, as well, this month, May 2023, you guys were actually named the best independent rock band by Jacqueline Jax. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that. And of course, how did it feel to be discovered and labeled the best by AVA Live Independent Music?
I think Brandon did most of the communication. You go take that one, Brandon.
Yeah, that was actually another opportunity that came to us through some more playlist pitching. Jacqueline Jackson, Ava Live Radio had a playlist submission opening, and we submitted the song with the press release and a little bit of background about Better Off Alive. And she thought it was perfect for not only their radio broadcast, but also for their Spotify playlists. And she happened to put it into her article and featured us as one of the best of 2023, which when the article came out, we weren't even aware that she was going to feature us in that article. And we log into our social media one day, and there we are tagged as a featured band in, one of the best of 2023. So, I mean, it's just another, validating experience when your music can carry to that kind of a reach and have that kind of an impression on people. It's just so fulfilling.
And also, as well, Saturday, May 13th, so literally just in a couple days, this Saturday, you guys will be performing at the Wilmington Flower Market Festival in Wilmington, Delaware. I was wondering, what can our listeners actually expect from this up-and-coming performance? And, of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some last-minute tickets?
I think it's free, right?
Yeah, that's a free event for sure.
Fly down from Ontario. Come on
down.
We'll buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Tempting,
Sean, you
man.
want to talk about the set list at all, or anything like that? What they could, look forward to?
Oh, what was that, Matt?
I was saying, I don't know if Sean wanted to talk at all about maybe like the set list or anything like that, or what
go for it.
Working on.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we got a nice set list coming up. It's kind of like free throwing. We got some jams in there. Like we're just gonna rip off each other. That's normally like our game. Like we'll throw some originals, then we'll just jam out and just feel each other and vibe. And we're just feeling that whole festival type, vibe. Just really into this show. It's a really humbling experience opening up for Philip Phillips. I really like a lot of his music. I was just listening to it the other day, and I'm just like, oh man, I really know this song. So it's a humbling experience to open up for him, and I can't wait to meet him for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't on Canadian Idol; he was on American Idol. So I don't know if you know who he is, but
Yeah, we have all the stations like Fox and ABC down here. I used to watch a lot of American Idol, but unfortunately, I'm a little too busy at nighttime now. So I'm actually interviewing the talent rather than watching the talent on TV.
There you go.
That's cool.
Right
that's
on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just to jump off that, one thing that's super cool, that we love getting out and playing our stuff in front of the fans because we love dynamics, so maybe you'll hear one or two of the tracks played as you would typically hear. If it's like one of the newer singles, like you don't play that close as it too because people are most familiar with it and listening it like that. But some of our deep cuts, I mean, we'll go on 8, 9, 10-minute runs. We'll go on improvs, jams, breakdowns. We'll extend bridges longer if we're getting that experience with the crowd. So really excited to get on one of the bigger festivals around here to play for that large audience and be on that big stage with that killer sound system going. And every show's a little different. That's intentional. Keeps the music fresh. It's selfishly, it's really fun to play that way live, and challenges yourself as a musician. And it's also cool for the fans because when you come see the High Tide show, like not everyone's exactly the same. Might play a song just a little bit different, or that solo might go a different way, or Sean and I might do a dueling guitar thing that you only really catch that one time. You're like, oh man, that show, that my favorite show is when I called him that time and they played this song a certain way or something like that. So that's really cool, and we're really excited to be playing on Saturday.
And obviously, guys, before we actually wrap things up here, obviously I know how to follow you on social media, but for the individuals that actually aren't quite familiar with you guys or just discovering Die Tired, how can they go about following you on social media? That way they can stay updated on everything you guys currently have going on and, of course, future-based as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the main hub, if you go to dietiredband.com, is our newly updated website. The launching page on that has like all our links to all our socials right on there. So if you kind of want like a one-stop shop, you can go to our main webpage, click right off there. You know, there's all kinds of stuff on there. We also have a web store there that ships all around the world. So it's customizable merchandise. So you can kind of, if you want a t-shirt, you can pick the color, pick the size, pick what logo you like. We just added a bunch of new items to that store, actually. So if people are into band merch, you can check that out. It'll be delivered right to your address that you prefer to dress. But if just like Die Tired Band is typically the way to go. You know, we're available Facebook, Instagram. You can check us out on. We have a Twitter account. All the majors. But the main hub would be our dietiredband.com.
Yeah, if you go to that website, you can also sign up to our mailing list, and then we send out a thing every couple of weeks with what shows we're playing, or just a random personalized email. One of us will log in and just send an email out to the fans, and it's genuine. A band member typing up something to our mailing list, and you can subscribe to that. Also have a YouTube, of course. You guys can subscribe and see what the newest videos coming out at any given time, and we'll keep putting out content, so it's always going to be there.
And I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for just giving not only myself, but the radio station airwaves a bit of your time here this evening. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, but for now, definitely have yourself a killer week.
Thanks for having us.
You
Appreciate
too.
it.
Thanks so much for having us and all the support. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. Definitely have yourself a great night.
Thanks.
You too, brother.
Thank you.